Hi everyone. To start off with today, we are going to learn some new word parts. So you need to pull up your word parts note chart that you worked with last time that we did word parts. It should be in your Google Drive. So let's see if I can get my drive open. I'm just going to go to drive.google.com and hopefully you put this in your English 1 folder so that you can find it very easily. If you didn't, then you might want to just search in Drive and search for word parts. But hopefully you have an English 1 folder. Here's mine. I'm just going to double click on it and hopefully my word chart is in there. And there it is, copy of word parts notes. So that's why it's so important to use that English 1 folder. It makes it so easy to find things that you need. So as a reminder, you're going to be writing down the word part in the first column, the definition of that word part in the second column, and then the sample words in the third column. So let's go ahead and get started. Pause the video whenever you need to copy things down, and then resume when you are ready to go on. Let me get on the right slide here. Okay, so our first one is a group again. We have grouped these ones together because they have the same meaning and they're used in the same way. So this is com, con, co, and col. So the definition of this is with or together. And there's tons of example words that you can probably think of, but here's a few. Combine, right? So that's you're putting things together. Contact, right? If you think about if you contact someone, right? You're like getting together with them. Collect, right? So that's where you're bringing things together. If you are collecting trash, you're putting all the trash together. And then coworker, right? So that is a person that you work with. You're working with that person together along with that person. So that is com, con, co, and call. And again, pause if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next slide. Our next one is a root word, which is chron, and that means time. So some examples, chronological. So if something is in chronological order, it is in time order, right? So what happened first comes first, then what happened next, and then so on and so forth. Synchronize. So if you synchronize something, it means that you're all doing it at the same time. So you think about like if you've ever seen synchronized swimming, they're all doing things at the same time together. And the last one is a word that you maybe haven't heard of before, but it's anachronism. And an anachronism is something that doesn't fit within the time period. So for example, if you were reading a story about the Wild West in America, right? Buffalo Bill, that type of time period, right? The settlers and everything. Let me pause for a second. Okay, sorry, they just came on with the announcements, so I didn't want to have to talk over them. Okay, so the anachronism. Let's say, like I said, you're in the Wild West, right? And then this could either be a story or a movie, right? And it's taking place in the Wild West, and there's like covered wagons and horses, and then all of a sudden somebody pulls out an iPhone. Okay, that's an anachronism because it doesn't make sense in the time period. It's something that doesn't fit within the time. So that is what anachronism means. Again, pause if you need to, and then resume when you're ready. Our next root word is graph, and graph means to write. So you have autograph, that's where you sign your name, right? So that's remember we learned that auto means self. So if you break this down, it actually means self-writing. So you're signing your own name, right? Graphite is the material that pencil lead is made out of. So again, that has to do with writing. And then you have calligraphy. So calligraphy is like that really beautiful handwriting that is very elaborate and ornate. And you use, so it is a type of writing. So that again relates to that graph definition of write. Next, we have a suffix, which is ism. So an ism is a set of beliefs. We have things like narcissism. That's where you believe that you are the best and you are sort of full of yourself. and I don't know, you just believe that you're the greatest thing that there is, basically. Buddhism is a set of beliefs that is a religion that follows the teachings of Buddha. And then the last one is pacifism. So if you believe in pacifism, it's a set of beliefs that basically relates to believing that everyone should be peaceful and nonviolent. And then our last one for this week is less, and this means lacking or without. So if you have, for example, defenseless, okay, so that's without defense. Effortless would be without effort. Blameless, without blame. So these are some that you might be pretty familiar with, but it's always good to sort of think about the way that these prefixes and suffixes work together, even in words that you're familiar with, because then when you see them in words that you don't know, you will be more used to them and able to recognize them. So make sure you have those 5 sets of words copied down into your notes in your English 1 folder, and we will continue to work with these words throughout the week. Our journal for today is describe a time when you discovered someone had been talking about you behind your back. What did you do and how did you handle the situation? And if this has truly, truly never happened to you, then just kind of imagine what you would do if that happened to you. So just saying this has never happened to me is not going to get you credit. Make sure that you are, if it hasn't happened to you, I'm sure that it has. It's happened to almost everyone, I think. But if you truly can't think of a time that it's happened to you, then imagine what you would do if that happened. Remember that you need to write 3 complete sentences to receive credit. You guys are doing a lot better with this, so keep up the good work with the complete sentences. Okay, next we're going to be taking notes over some different types of literary devices and some context for the story that we will be starting next week. So I have a video with the notes right here, and then you will take notes on this document. So just like last time, you're going to open it, make a copy, and then go ahead and get it moved into your English 1 folder. So to do that, again, if you need a reminder, up at the top by the title, you will see a little folder. It's going to pop up here in just a second. Hopefully. While that's loading, we're going to be talking about unreliable narrators, dramatic irony, verbal irony, hyperbole, and symbolism in this presentation, as well as some context and some visual things that will help you visualize the story. So here's the folder, and again, you just click that, and then you find your English 1 folder. You might have to go back and just locate that folder and move those notes in there. So pause this video and get this other video open and take those notes. And then you can resume when you're done. The last thing that we're doing for today is these vocabulary slides. So if you want to go ahead and click on that link. This is how we are going to introduce the vocab from this story. So again, I always recommend that you click on the blue link up here so that it will pop out into its own window. This does a couple of things. First of all, it's easier to see, which is great. And second of all, it's going to sync more continuously to your Google Drive. That way, if you time out for some reason, if Canvas times out, you don't lose your work. So make sure that you're doing that. Okay, so what we're going to do here is you're going to edit the slides so that each slide includes the vocabulary word's definition, an image that represents the word, and a sentence that contains the word. Now, on each slide, we've already given you one of those items. So for each slide, you just have to do 2 pieces. So let's go ahead and look at the first slide for insufferable. So you already have it here used in a sentence. I find people who walk slowly in the hallway absolutely insufferable. They often make me late to class. So we've already given you one because some words have more than one definition, and we want to make sure that you are using the definition that we are meaning in the context of the story. So make sure that all 3 of these pieces match and they have the same meaning and idea behind them. So to get the definition of a word, you can do several different things. I'm just going to Google search define insufferable. And then I get an explanation. Too extreme to bear or intolerable. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come back over here and I'm just going to click where definition is and I'm going to paste. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure, does that make sense in the context of this sentence? I find people who walk slowly in the hall absolutely intolerable. Yeah, that still makes sense, so I know that that's good. Then you're going to find a picture that represents the meaning of insufferable. Just like we did with the word parts assignment, you can just copy and paste those images directly from a Google image search, and I have those instructions right here as well if you need them. So again, I'm going to go back to insufferable, and this time I'm just going to click on images. And I see lots of different things. I'm going to search through until I find one that I like. I might actually take out the word define and see if I find something better. Oh, good. Okay, so this little boy looks like he's really bothering his sister. I'm going to use that. So again, I do a 2-finger click, which is a right click. Oops. I did a 1-finger click. Okay, 2 fingers to click on the picture, and then I'm going to do copy image. I'm going to come back over here to my slides, and I'm going to do Command V and paste that image in, and I'm good to go, and I can go on to my next slide. Okay, so we have different things that we've provided in each case. So for abscond, we've given you the definition, so you just need to find the picture and use it in a sentence. Repose. We've given you a picture, you need to define it and use it in a sentence. Same thing with niche and retribution. Connoisseur, you have a definition, you need to find a picture and use it in a sentence. I want to point out recoil because recoil has a couple of different meanings and a lot of times people get confused and pick the wrong one. So we want you to pick the definition of recoil that matches this picture. So what are these guys doing in this picture? They're kind of jumping back, right? Something has startled them or scared them. So make sure that when you look for the definition that you find a definition that relates to that picture and not the other definitions that they have. Then we have endeavor and fetter and obstinate. So those are your 10 vocab words for this story, and you will complete this assignment and then turn it in on Canvas. If you have questions, please feel free to either call into a Zoom question and answer session or send me a message on Canvas or email me, send me a Google chat, whatever you need to do, and I will be more than happy to help you. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.